Good evening. It's Tuesday night with all of its splendor. I just got in from Bible study, and I promised that I would do a video, a video series on taking risks, taking risk, and I want to entitle this "Taking Risk: The Power to Move Forward." The power to move forward, taking risks, because all of us have an inner drive in us. All of us yearn to do the unthinkable. All of us yearn to do the unimaginable. All of us have the propensity to be magnificent. But there's something within us that stops us from being all that we could be. There's something within us that's bullying its way. Because all of us have the desire to be magnificent. All of us have the yearning to do the unthinkable. All of us have the potential to do the unimaginable. But there's something that's deeper in us that's stopping us from taking the risk to step outside and be all that we can be. It's something that's bullying us, that's bullying our dreams, that's bullying our vision. It's bullying us, and in order to be great in anything, you have to take the risk. You have to take the risk. But what happens is that what stops us from taking these risks, you're asking, most people, they wonder, well, what's stopping you from taking these risks? And I'm going to unfold all of those and dispel all of the thoughts, all of the myths as to why can't we take risks? What's stopping us? And the reason I'm doing this series, and let me give you the backdrop as to why I'm doing this series. Because all last year, as I said in another video, when I was with the homeless, all last year and the year before last year was probably the worst year of my life. And I refuse to let this year be the worst year as well. But all last year was the worst year of my life. I lost everything. I was extremely depressed, extremely down and out. And I didn't even know if I was going to make it through the year. Didn't have any money, lost my sense, almost lost my mind. And so what I told God, I said, if you can just give me my happiness back, I promise everything that you've put in me, I will utilize it to the best of my ability. And so my reason for doing this is because I don't want anybody. It's not just last year's pain, but I'm talking about all of my experiences, because I'm a bundle of experiences, and I just want to pay it forward. And I'm asking that after you look at this video, that you would pay it forward, and hopefully through this series of videos, you can pay it forward. So let's cut to the chase, and let's talk about this taking risk. What's so hard about unleashing the person within you? What's so hard about unleashing the person within you? Because all of us are equipped in some way, shape, or form. And if we're not equipped, God will equip us to be all that we can be. But the reason a lot of us stop or fall short is because we have these myths that have haunted us, that have imprisoned us. And we furniture our thinking with these myths. Growing up, we were always taught, that we were if we did something, we were taught that we were bad. People told us that we were bad, or if we made a mistake, people said that you can't do that. Or if we had dreams to be a police officer or to be a doctor, they would say, if we did something bad, oh, you're too bad to be that. There's myths. All of us have these myths, and these myths stop us from being everything that we should be. And in order to take the risk to unleash your potential, you have to dispel the myths. Are you hearing me? I think it was John Bradshaw, the great psychologist, the great theologian. He said that it's the shame that keeps us bound. It's the shame, and the shame mixed with myths it keeps all of us imprisoned. Let me say that again. The shame that you've created or that you've done or that's in your mind and the myths that's in your mind keep you bound. Are you hearing me? And there's a difference. It's a difference between healthy shame, healthy embarrassment, and there's another between healthy shame, healthy embarrassment, and toxic shame and poisonous shame and poisonous embarrassment. Let me say it again. There's a difference between healthy shame and healthy embarrassment and toxic shame and poisonous embarrassment. Did you hear that? Healthy shame says that if it's shameful, it keeps me in check. It's saying that if I go outside with no clothes on, then I'm ashamed. And what happens is, and that keeps me in check, that keeps me walking the straight and narrow, that stops me from being a fool and stops me from doing things that would hurt me. Toxic or poisonous shame is the things that you've done, yet it has imprisoned you in your mind and stopped you from taking risk and going forward. Those are the things. So here you have, let me give you a perfect example. Here you have a man that stole, who used to be a thief. He was known all around town as a thief. And here the church, and now all of a sudden he gets himself right, he gets himself together, and he wants to go to church. In his mind, God has already equipped him to be a deacon or to be a trustee dealing with the money. But the shame of everybody, what they know about him, prevents him from taking the risk of running to be that deacon or that trustee. Are you hearing me? Shame, toxic shame. It kills us. It stagnates us from reaching beyond measure of what we can be. And there has to come a time in all of our lives where we stop thinking about what everybody else is thinking about us. You have to take that shame and throw it in the garbage. Sometimes we think that we're no more earthly good because of all we've done. We've felt like because we made so many mistakes, we've done so many things that we're so hideous that we're no more good to life in and of itself. And so we go through the day just living life just as it is. We just go today and we think that we create a ritual. We go to work, come home, take care of the kids, and look at TV. And let me just say this to you. Whatever you think is shameful to you, the person that thinks it's shameful will always gather everything that supports that shame, which keeps them in prison. Did you hear what I said? Whatever your belief is about yourself, you will always gather the support to that belief, to support that belief. Are you hearing me? You will always say to yourself, if you think that you're not good enough, you will find things or events that's happening in your life to support that belief. You'll go around, and if somebody says you feel like you're dumb, or you might not think that you're smart enough, and the minute somebody said what you can't comprehend, if somebody said that to you, or if somebody said what you can't think straight, then you'll gravitate to those thoughts and you will arrest them and imprison them along with the other prison population in your mind, the inmates of pain, the inmates of hurt, and you'll take those and run with it. Shame. It's the shame that we have to get rid of. It's the myths about ourselves, the myths that we're no good to life, the myths that our mistakes, that we are our mistakes. It's the myths that take us. So let me, and I'm gonna become personal and help you with this. And hopefully, by me being transparent, it would help you. So I have a background, a criminal background. I got out. It's crazy. You would never look at me and think it. You would never talk to me and think it. the transformation that I've made in life is tremendous, so on and so forth. But yeah, I have a couple gun charges, drug charges, all of that on my record. And so what happened was, in order for me to become a minister, I was told that I had needed a degree, right? I was told that I needed to get a degree, because there was 3 components that I needed to go to school, at the church, and then I needed a degree. Okay. So the Lord told me, God told me to go down to the University of Baltimore. Down the University of Baltimore, that's a law school, and it's predominantly Caucasian. It's predominantly white. Growing up, we were always trained in the myth that the black man can't get ahead. Are you hearing me? The black man can't get ahead. White people never look at it. And so in my mind, when God said that, I said, no, I'm not going down there. Because first of all, I haven't been to school in years. And also I have this record. So what did I do? I went to a HBCU, a historically black college. Are you hearing me? Because I wanted to take the easy way. I said, surely that by me going to this college, that surely I can make it. I can easily get the degree. They'll let me in, and I'll be on my way, and then I'll be the minister that God called me to be. But God is telling me to go to the University of Baltimore and apply. He had sent somebody, some young lady. At the time, I had a business in the mall. He sent her my way to tell me about the University of Baltimore. And I had researched colleges online, but I didn't think I was good enough to go to the University of Baltimore because of my background, because of my shame and the myths that I was taught that the black man can't get ahead. Are you hearing me? And so what happened was, as a consequence, I went up to the historically black college, and I won't say the name. I paid them $150 for the application fee. I put down there my background. They asked, have you ever been convicted of a felony? I said, yes. I told them what it was, so on and so forth. I went up. It was alarming to them. Some colonel, chief of security, whatever, they called me in for a meeting. Listen to this. I had to do an hour meeting with them. Listen, I paid them $150, and now I have to do an hour meeting. Eventually, they accepted me. Then I went to get some financial aid. I needed help. I went down there. At the time, I wasn't making that much money. I had the business, but it wasn't doing well. And I told the lady that I had to fill out all of these forms and get a letter signed and all of this stuff to try to get some help to go to school at the historically black college. The lady said that I was lying. And let me tell you something about me. I got the highest integrity in America. And so the lady said that I was lying, and so on and so forth. And the Lord is telling me, go down to the University of Baltimore. I said, surely no. I said, because they're not going to go for that. I'm ashamed of my background. Listen to me. And so because the shame had arrested my thoughts, and that's what's happening to a lot of us. And you have to be able to take the risk of being great. You have to take the risk of doing the unimaginable, the unthinkable. Are you hearing me? And so here I am. I go down there. And so the lady said, we'll call you. I filled out all of the paperwork. The lady said, we'll call you. They called me. And I went up there. I got a letter. They were willing to give me an $11,000 loan. Are you hearing me? $11,000. No financial aid, no grant money, no nothing. So therefore, I would have to pay for my education with no assistance. The girl told me to go down to the University of Baltimore, what the Lord had sent it to me. But the whole time she's thinking, I'm saying I'm not good enough. They don't like black. They're not going to let this black man who's a convicted felon come down there. The risk. Because, and let me say this to you, anything God tells you to do, anything unimaginable, you're never equipped to do. It's unthinkable. So you have to take the risk at doing it because God will equip you to do it. Are you hearing me? Anything that God tells you to do, it's not even there. You're not even equipped. He has to equip you, and he will equip you once you do it. So lo and behold, I went back to my business at the mall, feeling defeated, saying, God, you called me to be this minister, and I need this degree, but I need some help. He said, go to University of Baltimore. So as a consequence, I had I had my cousin come down to my business, watch my business, and I drove down to the University of Baltimore. In fact, I got a ticket for parking in the wrong place, but I go down to the University of Baltimore. Listen, I go into the admissions office, and they have admissions counselors. I fill out the application. The application was cheaper. I don't even know if I paid really. I don't remember, but the application was cheaper. And I'm talking to the admissions guy. And then they asked the same exact question. I put the same exact answer. And then he looked at the counselor said, he looked at what I wrote, and he said to me, whoa. I said, do you think they'll let me in? He said, I don't know, man, but we'll try. He said, you a praying man? I said, yeah, I'm a praying man. I left out of there feeling defeated again. I said, God, you had me go down here and you embarrassed me. And it's the shame. You have to take the risk at being great. Got to be more than what you see in the mirror. You got to rise to the occasion. Greatness is waiting for you. And so there I am, and I'm down there with, I get this call from the dean of the school, the dean of business. At the time, I was a business major, the dean of the school. And she said, hey, Richard, we want to go ahead and invite you to an interview because you wrote down here that you're a convicted felon, and I see the charges and so on and so forth. And so I want to go ahead and set up a date for you to come in. I went down there. Now, keep in mind, at the other school, the historically black college, I had to pay $150, and I had to do an hour-long meeting. You hear me? And they didn't want to give me any money. I went to this meeting with this lady, the dean, who was Caucasian. It lasted 5 minutes. She said, I sat down in the chair. She said, I just wanted to see how you look. Did you hear what I just said? You have to take the risk at being great. And so what happened as a consequence, and then I had to go to financial aid. I went to financial aid, and God planted this little old lady. It's a picture on my Facebook with this lady. She helped me with my financial aid every semester. I never paid a dime. My school was paid for. My tuition was paid for every single semester. You hear what I'm telling you? I'm talking about I didn't pay a dime. I took out a loan and I didn't need it. I just took it out because sometimes, because my business was suffering, and I took the loan just to pay the rent at the business, not to pay the rent of the tuition because the tuition was covered. The shame. Had I gravitated and not taken the risk, then that's shame. Then I would have never graduated with a degree. As a consequence, when I was in class, I graduated with a 3.67 average. I would have graduated with a 3.8 or something like that. But I didn't even study for this relationship class. But nevertheless, a 3.67 average at an A1 plus school. Did you hear that? A law school. You got to be willing to take the risk, do the unimaginable, the unthinkable. Well, I'm over my time. Let me say this to you. Tomorrow we're going to cover taking the risk despite others' opinions. But hopefully this was helpful. I'm saying to you, God is too great to fail you. It doesn't matter what you've done. I don't care. I can't tell you how many. I've done it all. Do you understand? Last year, I almost lost my mind. Do you hear me? But this year is a new year. You cannot allow what has haunted you in the past haunt you in your future. Do you hear me? Go to my website, www.richardtcook.com, for your place of encouragement. Tomorrow, I'm grossly over my time. I'm 20 minutes. I didn't mean to be this long, but hopefully this was helpful. Don't worry about the what ifs. Just do it. Whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, whatever your aspirations is, do it. I'm the only one in my family with a degree. And not only that, from a law school. I took business as and I'm going to get into this later on in the week. Business was my major. Got all A's in the business my first semester. Switched majors. Had to start all over. Because when God is in control, it doesn't matter the finances. Let me tell you something. I'm making this video. I ain't got no money. But I got power. Are you hearing me? And I got my right mind. Don't think you need finances to be great. And I'm gonna get into all of that. I'm saying to you, take the risk. Make up in your mind right now that from this day forward, no more myths, no more shame shall arrest your future. It's time for you to be great. I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the opinions of others. And that I'm going to talk about how others can kill you. Kill your future. I'm sorry. Not you, but kill your future. Some people can love you so much that they love the future out of you. Again, I'm Richard Cook. I'm trying to tell you, you're better than what you've done. You're better than where you've been. Take the risk of being great, and I promise you that you'll do the unimaginable. Let's do this together. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Father, bless them. Bless those that are looking at this video. I just ask that you just pour into their lives, that you just give them the power, the imagination, and the strength to take risks. Help them to see beyond who they can be, and let them see you, and you'll take them to be the person that they never thought that they would be. Bless them from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen. See ya.